Okay, everybody here? Okay, you can probably can hear me. But today was the anniversary of Carl Sagan's day his birth. He died in December, but he's probably the reason why a lot of people are into skepticism and science communication in general. How long is this video? He's probably one of the most things he's probably famous for is Cosmos. It was a TV series in the 70s. I can't remember seeing it the first time. I was probably too young to remember seeing it for the first time. My grandfather loved PBS and he liked listening to Carl Sagan. So I probably did hear it at some point. I can't remember until actually grade 12 science, biology. But
the lives and deaths of the stars seem impossibly remote from human experience, and yet we're related in the most intimate way to their life cycles. The very matter that makes us up was generated long ago and far away in red giant stars. A blade of grass, as Walt Whitman said, is the journey work of the stars. The formation of the solar system may have been triggered by a nearby supernova explosion. After the sun turned on, its ultraviolet light poured into our atmosphere, its warmth generated lightning, and these energy sources sparked the origin of life. Plants harvest sunlight, converting solar into chemical energy. We and the other animals are parasites on the plants, so we are, all of us, solar powered. The evolution of life is driven by mutations. They're caused partly by natural radioactivity and cosmic rays, but they are both generated in the spectacular deaths of massive stars thousands of light years distant. Think of the sun's heat on your upturned face on a cloudless summer's day. From 150 million kilometers away, we recognize its power. What would we feel on its seething, self-luminous surface or immersed in its heart of nuclear fire? And yet, the sun is an ordinary, even a mediocre star. Our ancestors worshipped the sun, and they were far from foolish. It makes good sense to revere the sun and the stars, because we are their children. We have witnessed the life cycles of the stars. They are born, they mature, and then they die. As time goes on, there are more white dwarfs, more neutron stars, more black holes. The remains of the stars accumulate as the eons pass. But interstellar space also becomes progressively enriched in heavy elements, out of which form new generations of stars and planets.
Okay, yeah. It's the thing is about Carl Sagan is, I don't think we'll have somebody who speaks that elegantly as a science communicator for a while. It's just not in this era of science communication, but he did inspire a couple of other science communicators. I thought I had it all preloaded here. Okay, there's Bill Nye.
I took astronomy from Carl Sagan. His classes were just fantastic. If you saw the series Cosmos, the original Cosmos, his lectures were like those television shows. He would bring these pictures from the Jet Propulsion Lab you'd never seen before from Mars. These would be on slides. Technology using translucent images with light projected through them in focus. At my 10th reunion, I met with him for a few moments and I said, I want to do this show about science for kids. He said, focus on pure science. Kids resonate to pure science. That was his verb, resonate. So the Science Guy show has a little bit about bridges and dams and civil engineering works and gears, but it's mostly about science.
Now, the currents set up by warm and salty water sinking and rising in the ocean are called thermohaline currents.
The Planetary Society, empowering the world's citizens to advance planetary science and exploration, was started by Carl Sagan. I became a member back in 1980, and I've been a member ever since.
I was a member for like 1 or 2 years, but it's a good organization.
Then
look
when
into it.
Carl Sagan died, I was asked to speak at his memorial. Then after that, I got on the board of directors. Then I left the room or something, and I became vice president. And then 3 years ago, it was a dinner party, there was wine or something, and now I'm the CEO. I'm the head guy of the Planetary Society. So Carl Sagan is deep within me. I am part of his legacy. And what he emphasized to everybody was the process of science. This is how we know nature. It's the best idea humans have ever come up with.
Okay, I'm joined Twitter up here. We'll see how long I last tonight without something messing up. Okay, just give me a second here. Oh, can I see any comments? I may have to do this blind for a while without seeing anybody else, but we got one more bit here. This is from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson did kind of like the sequel to Cosmos as well, and worked with Carl Sagan's wife. And if you didn't know, one of Carl Sagan's sons worked on Star Trek Voyager as a story editor, Nick Sagan.
So, got on a bus from New York City to Ithaca, New York in December.
Ugh.
And yes.
Terrible time to go to Ithaca.
Very bad time to go there. And he meets me in front of his building. And by the way, it's on a Saturday.
Okay.
All right, my boy was either already there or he came to meet me, but it was on a Saturday. Nobody else was there, no support staff. And he shows me around, and he does a badass thing. He did a no-look reach behind him and pulled one of his books that he then signed to me. So a no-look reach means you wrote so many books, no matter what you touch, in front of his building, something you wrote. And by the way, okay?
Right.
I still have that book, of course. It says, to Neil, future astronomer, Carl. All right.
Yeah, we'll get to
So I did all of this, and we go for hours and hours, and then it's time for me to go back to New York. He drives me to the bus station, and it begins to snow. Not an uncommon reality in Ithaca. And as it began to snow, he said, I don't know if the bus will make it through. Here's my home phone.
Wow.
If the bus is stalled, can't get through, call me. You can spend the night with my family. And I thought to myself, who am I for him to treat me this way? What? Why? Who? And then you know what I said to myself the whole time? This is almost surreal. I said to myself, if I am ever as remotely famous as Carl Sagan, I will treat the next generation of students the way he has treated me.
Wow.
And it was I never forget that. And so and I would only see him and greet him 2 or 3 other times in my life since then. So it's not like we were beer drinking buddies, and I can't even officially call him a mentor.
Well,
but he did.
You broke his heart because you didn't go to.
Oh no, I actually didn't go to.
Okay, and there's actually a class of starship in Star Trek called the Sagan class. Okay, one extra little clip here. If I still have it up. I don't think so. No, here it is. This is what was the bit that was actually used in our biology class in 1990 something.
The Lady Nii took him in her arms, and with the words, "In the depths of the ocean is our capital," sank with him at last beneath the waves. The destruction of the Heike battle fleets at Dano Ura marked the end of the clan's 30-year rule. The Heike all but vanished from history. Only 43 Heike survived, all women. These former ladies-in-waiting of the imperial court were reduced to selling flowers and other favors to the fishermen near the scene of the battle. These women, and their offspring by the fisher folk, established a festival to commemorate the battle.
We're going to skip ahead here.
To be found here, which have curious markings on their backs, patterns which resemble a human face, with the aggressive scowl of a samurai warrior from medieval Japan. These Heike crabs, when caught, are not eaten. They're thrown back into the sea in commemoration of the doleful events of the Battle of Dano Ura.
Okay, that was just demonstrating how selective breeding, how selecting certain things can make things more popular that weren't there beforehand.